Hey everyone. It is the Tuesday after Easter, and I'm talking today about being spring ready. I just sent an email out about this and what that means for this particular spring, because this particular spring, we are coming out of what I would consider a long winter. And there are very different challenges in making that transition from winter to spring. And I'm going to define winter as March 2020 till now, an entire year, because in winter, we do less, we're not able to do as much, we're not outside as much, we're not engaging with people, we're hibernating, we're cloistered, and that's what we've been in for the past year. So around this time, hey Phil, nice to see you. Around this time, we are often in a normal year. We're often inundated with the question of, are you spring break ready? Are you ready to throw on a bathing suit? You have been inside or covered in your coats, heavy clothes, you're eating comfort foods. Yes, that theme of, oh, hey, in 2 weeks, you're going to Florida or you're going to the Caribbean and you're going to strip down and basically be naked in front of a lot of people. And that brings up a lot of anxiety. And fitness companies and nutritionists use that as a way to get you to go on a fad diet or work out really hard to drop all that weight and get ready to be in your body. And I've talked about this over the years. That's not the perspective we're coming from, right? Period. Like, it's not a good perspective. It's not a perspective you want to hold on to, give any attention to. Please throw that out. That is a negative way of being in your body. And that's not going to make you feel good on a beach, even if you do all those things. But this year, I wanted to talk about being spring ready, period. Because we are coming out of, like I said, a very long winter. And I'm defining the pandemic from March 2020 as the winter. Because we have been cloistered. We have not been around people. We've not been able to do a lot. We've been eating comfort food. There's a lot of things we've been doing that are things we've done in winter, right? Period. And it's hard enough to emerge from a 6-month winter or 5-month winter, depending on where you are, into the warmth of spring and getting out. But this time it's going to be harder. And so there are 3 things I want us to think about as we're moving into this. And the first is that we need to really honor this grand transition. It's like being in the hospital, being hospitalized for a while, or having an injury. You know, you get the crutches. You don't have to use the crutches anymore. The cast comes off. You don't go run a marathon, even though you've been in a cast for 3 months and all you want to do is run. You don't do that when the cast comes off. You go back slowly. And what I'm noticing a lot in my clients and my friends is that because life is starting to rev up and we haven't been able to do anything for a year, it's getting a little crazy. Every friend wants to get together. All of a sudden, everything that hasn't been done in a year is trying to be made up for. And it's not a good way to enter this. Anxiety will come from that. It's not going to happen. And we also have to recognize that we are still in a pandemic. We don't know that everything is good and you can just start living like you used to. In fact, that happened to me today. I had a full lineup of events. I had a taping I was supposed to do, clients I was supposed to see, and I got thrown off because there's a possible exposure of COVID to my daughter, and we had to go get COVID tests and change the whole schedule around. So life is not just how you want it to be right now. We have to also remember and stay connected to our humility and our acceptance of how moving forward isn't necessarily going to be in our control and the way we want it to happen. Now, that's just life in general, period, but especially now. So, taking a step back, not trying to go from 0 to 60, realizing if you want to go from 0 to 60, that there are still potential bumps in the road, and just being okay and accepting of that. So, honoring the grandness of this transition into spring. And then once we've recognized those things, the next step is to really take a moment to set an intention for how you want to enter or re-enter life or enter this opening and this growth. You look outside, I see the buds on the trees. It's so beautiful. There's regrowth everywhere. And I want to ask you to think about what you want to grow this spring, now that things are opening up. And I also want you to think about what you don't want to bring with you. So we got to really shed a lot during the last year. And as we're re-entering, we have choice. We have the ability to say, nope, I don't want to do that thing that I used to do. We have the ability to leave behind relationships, activities that weren't serving us, that we realized, weren't. We have the ability to leave behind the super, super, super packed, busy schedule, even though I know a lot of us right now in the pandemic are actually extremely busy, like busier than ever somehow, even though, 75% of our activities have been taken away from us. So I want you to ask yourself what you want to grow, what you want to leave behind, what's been missing that you want to bring back in, and be very intentional about it. And then once you've decided those things, the third thing to do is make space for that. So this comes on to the theme of decluttering. Spring is a great time to clean. I know all along, since we've been in our homes, a lot of us have been doing this kind of decluttering process because we've had a little more time or been around all of our stuff and we want to get rid of it. But spring is a great time to clean things out. I want you to think about how you can declutter in all areas. So can you clean up your food? What needs to be cleaned up in the food? What do you need to declutter in that area? Can you clean up your schedule? It's a great time to pause, look, and see what needs to go and what can be changed and rearranged and organized. And then what spaces do you want to declutter? I know I have a client right now who wants to declutter her children's workspace because it's kind of crazy. So what are the spaces you want to declutter, and can you give yourself time to do that? And when we create space and we let go and we organize and we find clarity in our things, in our schedule, in our diets and our wellness routines, then life greets us, meets us in that, follows us, and things are easier and things open up and you're able to grow what you want to grow. So make sure to go over to my site, mybodwellness.com. You can go to the link in this bio. Sign up for my email list so you know what's coming down the pipeline, and know that I'm here to support you in your wellness desires. So all of these things that we're talking about, my Core Line program, if you want the piece of helping you align with your core in more than just the physical way, Core Line is a great way to have that structure and that accountability, as I can help you stick to task when it comes to accomplishing these things in your life. So come on over, sign up for my email list, or reach out for a free 20-minute call, and we will talk soon. Bye.